Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Hi, welcome to Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. We have our first film review, official or regular season film review of 2025, as the Bengals came out victorious. It feels weird to say because it felt like a loss. We've had losses that felt like wins. This one was a win that felt like a loss, which is the goal. And I agree with Zac Taylor in his post-game talking to the locker room where he said, the best you can be after week one is 1-0. And they're 1-0. And for all the talk of slow starts, they started slow, but they also came out with a win. So we're not fully satisfied. We'll take those wins. Those wins and losses could be the difference between watching this team in January or not. And I'll take watching this team in January. There are clearly things to fix. If you're concerned about the offense, I don't know what to tell you. I feel like the offense will be fine. I think most people feel that way, that they will figure it out, that it's the Browns, that it's week one. It's Myles Garrett. They always struggle in those situations. The defense, though, pretty good against a bad Browns offense. Good against the run, got some pressure, and made plays on the ball. And didn't give up random explosives over their head and didn't miss crazy tackles, right? So I think that's improvement. Could they have been better? Could they have put more pressure, consistent pressure? Could they have not given up some of these easy completions? Yeah, for sure. And I think there's areas to adjust in this defensive scheme that we will go over today. And it's not just a defensive look today. What we're going to do is, because you can do anything week one, we could focus on TJ Slayton, who I thought was good. And we'll talk about players at the end. We can focus on Shamar Stewart, who was good again. The return of Trey, who was Trey. Trey looked great. The return of BJ Hill, essentially. They got an extension this year. We missed him all summer. He looked great. So there's a lot of things we could talk about as a whole. And that's just the defensive line. All of those could be looked at. We can look at the offensive line and how Dalton Risner had to get right into the game. We can look at the run game, first half versus second half. What happened? We can look at just Joe Burrow. I found a way to look at parts of all of those things. And because it's a open book week one, we'll learn on what we want to watch as the season grows. The big thing to me, the story of week one, comes down to third downs and how the Bengals were really efficient to start the game. On defense, they weren't, and then they flipped both. They got really good on defense on third downs and got lucky too. And then they got really bad on offense on third downs. And I think when we go back and we look at them and we have 30-something plays, it'll tell us what happened. It'll give us an opportunity to talk about each player in each scenario. So let's dive in because we got a ton of plays to look at. Okay, first third down of the game for the Bengals offense on their opening drive. That will result in a touchdown. Spoiler. But it's just a run up the middle to gain about one and convert on this third and short, which Bengals are able to do. And there's no shock here, surprise here, but we are going to look at a few things, offensive line, what they're doing, out there with Yoshi in the slot, T's tight against the formation, Drew Samples, the other tight end, or the tight end, again, leading the tight end room in snaps. And then it was Noah Fant number 2, Gesicki number 3. So interesting there. But if we just double up on the point here, right there, and I guess he's just single block there. I thought they were getting doubled. Oh, Swessinger came in. All right, let's clean it up. It's week one for me. Solid blocks by Mims. Let's see it again. Was it Mims? No, it was Sample that took him on. Mims went to the second level. Gotcha. And then Patrick helps clean it up and push that guy down. Patrick, I thought, looked good in his first drive. Slight shame that he got hurt because I'm a big fan of Dalton Risner, obviously, but I thought Patrick looked fine. And now we'll have to see how long he's out for. We've got a throw here on third down. The next third down now, the Bengals get very little on the first two plays here. We basically have two guys coming across the middle, which I thought was fun because I thought this ball was going to Andre Iosivas. I don't know if anybody else felt that way. And it is a nice window throw for Joe Burrow with solid protection as T. Higgins comes across the middle on the second level. Maybe that's more third level. Maybe Yoshi's second level. But let's watch it again. You see the protection there. I mean, we would take this every single time, bro, just stepping up into the pocket. And as he throws it, T keeping his arms extended and keeping the ball away from the defender so he can't reach down. That's the matchup you want. It's not T versus Ward. It's not T versus Newsome. You're getting T on the third corner for the Browns right now, which is a replaceable level player. And something they probably should have taken advantage of more often. And I thought they were going to. That did not continue the rest of the game. So we got to run here on the next third down. Chase Brown picks up 5 yards. Nice cutback here because, again, they're bringing Bush up. He's really causing troubles there. They were bringing their linebackers up and really bringing them down the line very, very hard. And I wonder if, and here you see Ward coming in to fill here. It just felt like the Browns knew what they were running again, as it always seems to do. Nice cutback, jump back lane for Chase Brown. Shout out to Mims, who did get this guy on the ground here. I think that's Mason Graham, which we need Mims to be a physical run blocker. And he really wasn't again in this game, but he did have some moments and flashes. It's just something we're going to have to keep an eye on and see if he gets better at throughout his career, because I believe he can be a physical presence in the run game. The Bengals end up scoring without getting to another third down on that drive. So we got a 7-0 game here. Browns get the ball back and they're driving in the first quarter. They hit their first third down of the game here. And they convert, or just they get stopped and the Browns go for it on fourth down. That might have been it. I want to point out TJ Slayton on this play. Slayton, I thought, started this game off beautifully. He was very, very good. I think 4 out of the first 5 plays ended up clipping and posting those on Twitter. So if you haven't seen it, check it out at Joe Goodberry if you want. But watch Slayton here. He's going to get an initial push and knock these guys back. I think it's Wyatt Teller this time. Okay, it's the center and Teller. He's going to get blown back initially, get his feet replanted, which I really like. And then he's going to end up holding this point. Maybe it's better from the side end zone angle or the sideline angle, excuse me. But he ends up holding this really, really well while BJ Hill comes across from the other side. So if we can go back now and take a look at BJ Hill from this side. So the initial push gets Slayton off the ground, but it's hard to say from this angle. It's hard to show you. Like that initial push there, and BJ Hill's coming across this way, but he anchors right there really, really well. And Hill works across, and Shamar Stewart works across as well from this defensive end spot here. You see him use power, get off that guy, and help make that tackle. And I believe the Browns do convert, and we'll get another third down on this same drive. This time more of a maybe they'll throw the ball situation, 3rd and 4, I believe it is. And we've got the Cam Taylor-Britt penalty. Does he end up with multiple penalties, or is it just this one? It might just be this one. But we're just running single high. So the Bengals, if you're wondering what L's doing, we've got a single safety. This looks like a potential cover 3 scenario. So we got here. This is the safety that's going to come down. So battles the free here. Stone's coming down. I wonder what Cedric Tillman's saying right here. I'd like to go back real quick and see what's happening. Did he beat Dex across his face? How'd that happen? No, Dex just let him go. It's a bust in the coverage. Potentially. Yeah, and Tillman saw it right away. So I don't know if Battle doesn't see him or what's going on there. But that's when you want to run seam routes. People talk about seam routes all the time. The seam is really right up here. And if you can get the safety to go one way or the other, that's where you beat them. But Cam Taylor-Britt, we're going to talk about him a bunch. At least put the microscope on him probably next week because he had a poor game. And you're going to see quite a few plays here where they're moving him around a lot. They moved Dax around a lot. It was a much different defensive look from Lou to Al Golden in terms of where the corners were playing, where the defensive backs were playing. So we'll have to see how much was just week 1 game plan and how much is Al Golden's going to play it. So I don't want to make too many assumptions right away. I already know what this play is here. We're going to bring Judy in motion. And what this does is stack up 2 receivers. When I say stacked, it means they're both behind each other. And we've talked about this before, but if you're newer, if they're right behind each other, this one DB is going to end up drifting off. These two usually have to communicate with each other. This guy and this guy. One guy's going to say, okay, I've got anything inside. I've got anything outside, if that's how they want to call it, or however they want to do it. I've got anything outside here. You take anything inside. But it makes it very hard when both guys show outside releases at receiver, and then one guy ends up cutting back across. So this is very good game plan if you're expecting man coverage. What you see there is both the outside releases, so both DBs got to go with it. If you're expecting all this man coverage, which Al Golden is known for, the Browns put a good game plan in here to have Judy really string them out. Both of these guys stringing it out as far as they can, and then Judy's going to cut behind here across this guy's face. And I think Turner had good coverage and turned really well. They just see that hand around the hip, which to me is not an automatic penalty. It only is if you grab him and slow him down. But I think we got some assumptions there by the back judge that really, I don't know if he's got a great angle on it. I thought Turner looked good in review, watching every snap, and we're not going to get all of them here. Maybe we'll just get a few. But I thought Turner looked really, really good. Let's see if we can get a good shot of it there. If he knocks that ball away and hits it, it's probably they probably don't throw a flag. But because he doesn't get a hand on it, and the receiver is really begging for it there. The Bengals get a couple third down stops, or not a couple, but they get a third down stop here in a goal line situation, a couple goal line stops. And I mean, I thought Logan Wilson was absolutely patrolling out there in his first game back. Like he is coming from depth here and making this tackle. He's this guy right here. I'm going to go back all the way. You can see how deep they've got their linebackers here, which I think is fun. Give them a running head start and then really take it to the Browns line of scrimmage. But you're going to see Jordan Battle here as well. Let me see. Battle's over here. He's going to follow Harold Fant Jr. They're like, yeah, that's your guy right there. And in motion, they're going to snap this ball. And Battle's going to come across, and he's going to end up needing to take Aiden Huntington, who is one of my guys as an undrafted, and the Browns absolutely love him. He's a killer on special teams. They carved out a role for him on offense. He's also playing on defense as an undrafted guy. He's going to be someone you need to know. But Jordan Battle takes it to him and really just, I mean, no hesitation, stands him up and allows this line to be set here for Logan Wilson to come down free and hit the running back. You leave that your middle linebacker free like that because you take on the blocker. Shout out Jordan Battle for doing the dirty work and letting Logan Wilson get the credit. The Browns will end up scoring, and we're in the second quarter now. Bengals next third down opportunity here. Good protection again. I want to go back just a click if we can. I want to see what the Browns were doing on defense. They're playing a cover 2 here. So cover 2 is 2 deep safeties. We got to do this again, start of the season. And in a Tampa 2, you're going to bring this middle linebacker and really run him down the seam and open him up. Run him down the middle of the field and really open his hips up to the side that's got the most targets. In this scenario, it was this side because Gesicki came from over here, I believe, right? When we got this guy. Oh, that's not supposed to be. That's supposed to be a line. We got this guy and we got this guy. So you're going to open up this way for that middle guy. Anyway, Gesicki, as he gets here, he's just running an out route. We've got a vertical ball here, which means Burrow just really has to be sure that this guy's not going to drift into this window and this guy's not going to drift into this spot where he's going to hit Gesicki, which neither happens. It's going to be a tight throw. The Browns do a really good job of squeezing this. The Bengals, I mean, this is really you're not really trying to beat cover 2 here, I think. I don't know. I guess it depends. Strong arm quarterbacks would hit this ball, no problem. Burrow throws it more with anticipation and touch, gets rid of it early, and he ends up with the same result. But it's a tight throw no matter what. It's a good play by, I think that's Newsome over there. And a really good catch by Mike Gesicki to go up and be a little fearless there. So the protection was good again. I want to watch it a little bit closer from this angle, because I think this is the first time we get Dalton Reisner in the game, right? Yeah, so 66. He's going to looks just like the game we saw with the Vikings. He's going to help out as much as he can and have the awareness to come out and pick up Mason Graham so Burrow doesn't take that shot, right? And then Burrow's already getting rid of it. High ball for Gesicki, takes a shot to the hip, rib area, no problem. Gesicki didn't play a lot, and I think the absence of a third weapon impacted this game, right? And we didn't use Gesicki, didn't use Yoshi. Burton was inactive. Fant was fine, and we're going to see Fant in a second here, but third down. This time we've got a Single high safety, not playing cover two. Usually on this, you want to throw to the boundary. So if middle of the field is closed is what this is called, because you bring this safety up here, you've got a free safety in the middle of the field. This is middle of the field closed. Typically, that means you want to aim for the boundaries on either side and get to there if you can. But the Bengals are running three guys to the middle, right? We've got, looks like Gesicki, maybe Jamar there, maybe Fant here or Yoshi there. And then only other guy is Higgins to the outside here. And Burrow's already got to pull this ball down because he gets spooked a little bit from Myles Garrett. So, number one, you don't have a lot of options to beat this. Number two, because even still, where you want to throw this ball. Yoshi does not get any separation on most of the film I watch. Gesicki doesn't get a ton in man coverage, to be honest with you. So you're really coming down to we're doubling. That's Jamar, right? And then one-on-one with T. But really not in a position to turn and get our feet and get ready to launch this ball at T if we wanted to. So Burrow tries to run with it. He probably would have picked up that first down had Myles Garrett not been an absolute freak on a mission on Sunday. So I guess moral of the story is here, we'd like a better call. I don't know if they thought they'd get cover two and we're like, okay, we'll hit this middle of the field, because cover two means middle of the field open. When you get one safety deep, middle of the field closed. And then you get a little bit of pressure, right? That is always part of the story with the Browns here. Schlesinger blitzes, P. Ryan picks it up with a nice shot. Both he gets sandwiched between Reisner and P. Ryan. The edge is being threatened by Garrett, and I think Burrow sees that and knows he has to step up, but we're blitzing the middle there to really not allow you to have much room to step up. And Burrow tries to escape and make a play, which I get, but it's also why the Browns give them such issues, because they understand they have Garrett, and Garrett's going to win most of the time. And if they can clog up your other lanes on Burrow, you're really going to take away his ability to extend and make plays, which was so crucial to his game last year. And it is a big thing to his game overall. When you take that away from him, it can make him look pretty average at times. Okay, the Bengals showing split safety. He's going to rotate to a single high safety. We've got a screen pass here. So it looks like man free. Everyone's in man coverage. And Shamar originally got credit for this, but I think it ended up being Logan Wilson. I don't know how much Shamar actually contacted it, but Logan Wilson will. So we're going to keep our eyes on Logan Wilson here as he's matched up with the running back. And as he sees what's going on here, he's going to he might have been matched up. He might have just been blitzing. If I go back, let's see it again. Because they blitz their linebackers a ton. Logan Wilson, we're going to see a couple plays on third downs where he blitzed. Yeah, I think he's either spying or blitzing. And I don't think you're spying Joe Flacco. So he ends up drifting right into the passing lane and putting his hand out and batting it in front of David Njoku. So it was a tight end screen. Another third down for the Bengals offense, this time way in Browns territory. Burrow's going to look to the right and then pull it down. Let's see the coverage first. Again, we're looking at a potential single high safety, middle of the field closed, and Burrow's looking middle of the field right away. I don't know if he's looking for Gesicki right here. Gesicki's getting jammed way down the field. Is that Schlesinger on him? It looks like it's Schlesinger. Let's start it over for the beginning. So it looks like Burrow goes right in order to what? Pull that safety maybe away? That's what I'm thinking here now. I'm thinking he's thinking, if I look right, maybe I can get the safety to pull down and I can hit Yoshi on the post. But as he tries to step up, he gets yanked by Malik Collins, who's beating. And we do get a penalty at the bottom of the screen. I don't think I remember that or noticed it. Let's go back all the way. Let's going on with it's Jamar Chase at the bottom of the screen. So Chase down here as he tries to cut upfield and not get kicked out of bounds. He gets held and they throw a flag on that. Okay, Burrow scrambles out, finds P. Ryan and hits him. P. Ryan and Burrow have had a lot of practice with that. It's nice to have a guy in there. So let's watch what happens here at left guard. Fairchild had a couple of really ugly losses. So the guy fakes in, then goes out, just opens up that corner a little bit too much, right? Instead of sliding and getting in front of him, he never really has that chance. He's just feeling a grown man that's played in the league for 8 years or 8 years plus. Malik Collins has been in the league for a while. So he didn't grade out too well if you're looking at like PFF grades for Fairchild. He was okay, but again, the standard for rookie linemen, not very high. You just need them to keep their head above water. Not sure if he did, if I'd consider this game head above water, but there was moments for Fairchild. Okay. Jalen Rivers is the jumbo lineman here because Cody Ford is at fullback. And I think that's fun. And we got Noah Fant here, and he's going to run a corner route after these linebackers and everyone else is just going to jump up on this play action, which is crazy. On the Bengals, you're going to jump up on play action. Ford was leaning forward a little bit before the snap. I probably just close enough to not call it. I saw it called in other games week 1, but you really got them all. Look at all these defenders for the Browns in there, and Burrow right away is looking like, oh yeah, I've got it. Touchdown, Noah Fant in his first game as a Bengal on 3rd down. So that's nice. Get your first drive, you convert a couple thirds. Second drive, convert a couple 3rd downs. Well, it wasn't the second drive. This was the 3rd drive, right? They would get touched on. So between, the first couple quarters, because you only had the ball 3 times at this point, you get the conversion and the score. At this point, I thought the Bengals offense would be fine. It's a good QB sneak on 3rd and 1 for the Browns. Not going to spend too much time talking about it because sometimes things just happen on QB sneaks. They're not very defensible in today's age, and I'd like to see the Bengals do it more often with Joe Burrow. I understand not trying to get him hurt, but we still got to play football. Thought TJ Slayton was good. Not that this is the play to show, but overall, I thought TJ Slayton was pretty good. Definitely brought that physicality and bear-like agility. There's a dancing bear out there from that nose tackle spot that was pretty rare, or it was missing, I should say. It was missing last year without DJ Reader. Okay, 3rd down. Bengals showing 2 high safeties. Clearly not going to be that. It's going to be man-free, it looks like, again, with a blitz. Everyone looks like they're in man except for these 2 linebackers that dropped. One being Demetrius Knight, one being Trey Hendrickson. I think Hendrickson dropped into coverage 3 times for L. Golden. Not sure that's what we want, but at the same time, when the coverage looks really good and you flush Flacco out of the pocket because you did send a blitz, well, that's a good play there, and we'll take that. Good job by, I want to say, DJ Turner on the boundary. We'll probably see it when it turns on. No, that's Dax Hill. Let's watch Dax Hill at the top of the screen versus Jerry Jeudy. Top of the screen. Again, we've got a stacked receiver look. I said how hard that can be for the outside guy and the inside guy. But all right, so we got to worry about the out route right at the sticks. Dax looks like he's leaning too far upfield. Quickly adjust to the out route. Oh, it's a double move. And he sticks with him. Incomplete pass. I think Dax, I want to see him change directions. He's coming back from that knee injury. I thought Dax had a really good game. Moved all around the defense for the Bengals. Yeah, blitz with Logan Wilson as Osai slices inside. Logan Wilson's going to be the blitzer. Demetrius Knight makes sure Flacco doesn't run. Forces the incomplete pass. Good call on defense there. I think the Browns end up kicking a field goal. That becomes 10-14. Yeah, 14-10 at that point. Again, we probably have a situation where it's man-free, single high safety, which if you want to attack the boundary, like I said earlier, when the Bengals are on offense, that's what you want to do. And this is, I want to say Jeudy and DJ Turner, probably your best bet if you're the Browns. Like, throw that up. But Flacco is being flushed from the pocket, and he finds Harold Fant Jr. So let's see how he was flushed from the pocket. It's going to be the exact same call, I believe, from the previous play. So the Bengals are going to this well again. They're like, hey, they couldn't pick up Logan Wilson in the middle. Let's try this again. So what I mean is we're end up kicking the defensive end here inside to defensive tackle, and Demetrius Knight replaces him. So this is more like a 3 down lineman and 2 outside linebacker edge rusher types for the Bengals defense. This is what L. Golden does a ton of. And they're going to drop one of them in coverage typically, which here it looks like it's going to be Hendrickson. And you're going to replace that 4th guy with Logan Wilson. Does that make sense? We just need to have our edge guy make sure they set a little bit more, but they want him to start inside and then work out if they can. It's going to be interesting how this works against Lamar if Lamar just doesn't take off and run outside every time. But it's a good blitz, and it's a really good route by Harold Fant Jr., someone we talked about during the draft process, right? A lot. You see him down there at the bottom of the screen. Watch him come across, hit the brakes, create separation from Jordan Battle, and make himself available. Fannin would have been a fun player to have for the Bengals. Who knows if they're ever interested or not. He looks like he's going to be a fun player for the Browns. So we move on. We just move on, guys. Got a blitz here from the secondary and I think a single high safety situation again. Again, this is going to be a staple of Al Golden. Less cover two, more single high, or is it not? He's really out wide. I think he just realizes, Stone may just realize that there's no other routes here. We've got a tight end and we've got a running back, so he really doesn't have to protect on anything. He can come down and fill this if he thinks we're coming across the middle here. So let's see. What's his reaction time? Pretty good and a good hit. I think he's a little upset with himself that maybe he wasn't quicker, but also this is when Logan Wilson came out of the game and Barrett Carter came in, and Carter was attacked immediately. You see him right now, he's drifting out this way instead of more vertically. And as Flacco's got his eyes right on Carter, you're just going to move the rookie even wider, and then we're going to throw right behind him. So if he was more in the middle there, you might have stopped that. You might have forced a different throw. But that same exact thing happens a few plays later when Tillman gets his touchdown. I think it's later. We don't get it in this. I don't think it's on third down. But he just moved Carter with his eyes. Carter didn't even think about the second level behind him and got picked on just a little bit there. Bengals are trying to get something going here. If you go back to where it's beginning of the play, it's just a rock, paper, scissors moment as they blitz Taylor-Britt from the outside, and we basically got a swing pass screen going on. So again, did they know what the Bengals would call? What, they got guys on the bridge watching camp practices? I wouldn't be shocked anymore. The Browns know everything the Bengals are doing all the time. It's annoying. And they pick up the first down. Like, how'd you know he was going to blitz? Other than the read, but like you would have to have that play called. Is he audible to this? No, I think this is a call from Stefanski. And everyone, again, so this happens in preseason. It happened quite a few times in this game. Everyone is slanting on the D-line this way, it seems. And the play is going to the other way. So we've seen pitches and tosses in this way, and this time now it's just a swing pass, and it just doesn't feel like they have enough guys out there, right? You've got two guys here versus two because Cam Taylor-Britt was blitzing basically. Cam turning it and running upfield at least kept this running back honest a little bit. But I don't like seeing just two guys out there to try and get that pass when there's a lineman bearing down on him. He could take out both those guys potentially. Is this a touchdown? It's not. No. Another pitch out, another same thing. There's nobody out there. Like, you're completely outnumbered. Again, I don't know how this keeps happening. I mean, I guess I kind of do. Let's see if they slant this D-line all inside again or to the right. Let's watch them. Okay, they don't. They're actually going outside this time. But Shamar doesn't see this coming. I don't know who's he looking at? Who's he asking for help with? From Carter? Because Shamar goes inside. We really, I'd assume he's got to be the guy containing the edge here because of how everyone else is going to the left. He's the only guy who went to the right, and you end up at same exact gap as Chris Jenkins Jr., it looks like. And so now no one's on the outside, where you probably should have been more getting to that play. But Carter does a good job stringing it out. Battle helps finish it off. Things you can iron out and clean up. Even I don't know if you saw Shamar down there. He kind of like put his hands up like, I don't know what happened. So things we're learning. Touchdown there for the Browns, I think made it 16-14. And we've got a deep ball. One of the only deep balls, I guess, catchable deep balls. He did have one earlier against Ward that just seemed like Bro was kind of throwing it away here. But we got single high safety, so we want to go to the boundary, right? You got one-on-one, Newsome versus Chase. You got enough protection. You want to hit this ball. Let's go for it. I would like Chase to go attack this thing, right? He's letting it just drop in his back hip as we've had so many times. And this is a great throw. It's a great play by Newsome. If you saw the super slow motion, Newsome just puts his hand out there, just sticks it out, and it knocks it away right as it's about to hit Jamar's hands. So good protection. Lay it out there right there. I mean, look at Newsome just put his hand out and just randomly get it. If Jamar comes back for it and catches it over his face, Newsome never has a chance to knock it away. And you might even run after the catch on that. So, and Bengals end up punting. I think that's a 3 and out for them at that point. Next third down for them. This might be after that first interception by Jordan Battle. Well, again, we got a single high safety, and we're going to the boundary. But the thing about it is, man, the Browns are really like doubling up here. If you look, we've got inside help from this guy. You would think Ward would really be protecting this outside more than he is, because T runs a great route here to get Ward to think he might actually go inside, even though he's got inside help, and then he's going to break it out to the outside. I should clip this and post this on Twitter. I mean, that's a really, really good route. You see how much separation he gains from this? And that ball is on him, first down. And that was a 3rd and 9, I believe it was. And I think Burrow got hit on that. Let's see if that's that play, if I remember. And yeah, Schlesinger is going to come from this spot here and loop around. And there it is right there. Nice to have an athlete at linebacker. And that's honestly right at the hips and the thigh pads. Nothing wrong with that. But that's a great route, hands catch, sideline awareness by T. Higgins against Denzel Ward. Right, the next third down for the Bengals. Again, we got a single high safety here. This is last time, right, we had Carson Schlesinger rotate around and blitz. This time, Schlesinger is going to come out into coverage and drop towards this way. You've got Gesicki running a clear out route here. Hopefully you tie the two of these up, or if it's in man, and if it's not, hopefully I can fit it in this window here, and Chase Brown can just squirt upfield and get this first down. But that means you have Higgins and Jamar on this side. And Jamar may have someone here with inside help, but T's one-on-one, against Newsome. Let's see what he can do, right? But so I understand this is a staple play for them. This is something they want to get out and get into Chase's hands. I think this ball ideally would be on him right now so that he can turn upfield. But you're really taking Burrow's advantage away from him and letting him read by having just such a quick throw sometimes. You're taking away Jamar, you're taking away T, and you're kind of taking away Chase Brown here of getting the ball early. By getting it to him here, you're really lowering the chance that he's got an opportunity to run with the ball. I just don't think they knew that Schlesinger was coming across, and we're kind of shocked by that. And it's a good play by the Rook. He got beat on the Noah Fant touchdown. But otherwise, I thought he had some very, very nice plays for the Browns. Yeah. Just not ideal. That play works as long as they're not on it and covering it. It's rock, paper, scissors. You threw rock, they threw scissors. No, they threw paper. You know what I'm saying. Third down for the Browns here, and we've got a completion over the middle. Again, we're talking about a scenario where they are bunching up their receivers to beat man coverage. Bengals didn't do this enough. They're bunching these guys up. They're not out here outside the numbers. They're inside the numbers, literally inside the numbers, and bunched up, which means two of these guys are backed off, right? You almost got to play like, I've got this, and I've got short. And because you don't really know, these guys could go this way, he could go this way, he can go this way. It's hard to say I've got that guy and that guy that's end up bunching up with each other and not not covering your guys. So you see how they split at first and realize and declare right away, okay, now we know who we've got. But by doing so, Cam Taylor-Britt here has kind of opened up his hips and he's leaving the open. He's leaving the inside, right? And that's what happens. And he just does not move his feet quick enough to stay with Tillman, who's not a fast, quick guy. He's got good speed. He's got good athleticism overall, but he's not a jitterbug by any means, right? He's a big receiver. I do wonder if, where's Battle here? Maybe I'm incorrect. There's Battle coming back across. I do wonder if Battle is supposed to be in the middle field a little bit more than what he ended up. Because you see, he turns out and he's looking like expecting the drag route maybe. And there's no drag. Shamar gets very close. That's Shamar right there. And his hand got very close to hitting Joe Flacco using a power move. But this is a good window throw by Flacco. Good anticipation throw. And it's Cam getting beat from the slot for a 25-yard gain, I want to say. You'll see a couple times here. I don't like when he's so backed off. I'd like if I could just press man with Cam Taylor-Britt on the outside and just be done with it. I think they're moving around too much. I think they're doing too much with him. And here we go again. Cam's getting in the slot. Right here. This is Newton in the slot. This is DJ Turner up here. And I want to say this is Dax Hill here. So we're in a dime defense. But Cam's got Harold Fant Jr., who shouldn't be able to beat him athletically. But when you set up just a little bit too outside, it's man coverage for everyone. And before moving your feet, you're reaching out with your hand. Now you're in trail the whole time. And he's just running away from you. And it should have been a big completion. So I see Osai talking to someone next to him. I wonder if they're supposed to stunt Chris Jenkins and Osai here. Let's check that. Yeah. And that's why this took so long, I think. That was out of sync a little bit. Well, let's watch Cam Taylor-Britt again with Harold Fant Jr. really beating him across the face here. You're late to get out there. He should be able to turn his hips and run faster than that. This guy ran a 4.3 at one point. Trust your feet. No, you don't get any claps and high fives when the other guy drops the ball. I do think, though, on replay, Cam hit his elbow just a little bit. It might have been enough to force that ball to come out. So, for whatever that's worth. All right, Bengals get the ball. We've got a third down scenario. It's a third and 10, I think it is. And we've got a, again, single high safety. So they're not playing cover two. The Bengals have gotten so good against cover two. It's funny to see them not really have success now versus single high safeties. But we got an out route here by Jamar, and he wins. We've got a vertical here. I want to say that's Yoshi. A dig here by Higgins, which you could probably hit if you had more time and could see, but it looks like Jamar Chase is winning clearly here. So I don't have a problem with Joe saying that's the only option I have, and I think he nailed this throw. Jamar just got pushed out. So good play by Newsome again on the sideline. I thought Newsome had a really good game. And we're going to look at the protection up front now because this is Myles Garrett right down here. And we got Noah Fant who's going to chip him inside. And he's been getting chipped inside all day by Noah Fant. So I think the Browns were ready for this. And they said, okay, Myles, if you get chipped inside, just go with it. We're going to run a stunt to get you free. So watch as he gets thrown inside. He's just going to go with it, man. And he is clear shot at Joe Burrow. We can't pass this off. It's hard to pass off and have Fairchild. Someone said Fairchild's supposed to get to this. Yeah, if he was coming in this gap here, he's not. He's trying to get here, and Schwessinger is taking Karras this way. So if anything, that might be on Karras of riding Schwessinger too far. But it's just a tough pickup when you've got a guy that is that fast. And oh my God, that's the bottom of Joe Burrow's cleats in the air. But when you have a guy that is that fast, violent, and good, yikes. You're trying to help out Orlando Brown Jr., and he just says, that's fine. I'll just go 2 gaps inside and have a free shot at your quarterback. So again, it feels like the Browns played rock when you played scissors. Next third down for the Browns here. This is going to be in a short pass for Jerry Jeudy. Let's go back a little bit, though, to see what the Bengals did do. We have a single high safety. So he's going to rotate. He's going to be your single high. It looks like potentially cover 3, I would say, potentially. Let's see if they play man or not out of it, or if it is a cover 3 zone. No, it's cover 3. And Battle, let's give a shout out to Jordan Battle, like right away. Who are the two guys that are going to meet here? Battle right away knows what's happening, I think. And he says, okay, if we got Judy coming across this time, I am going to run with him completely. It's funny. It's like half man, half zone, because it looks like these guys are playing man up here. So maybe everyone is playing man except for this might be a coverage they are going to roll with. Maybe they want to rotate. Now that I think about it, maybe Turner's rotating to a cover 2 man, and he's coming down to cover Judy. And, you know, on this side of the field, you're expecting Judy to run something like this, not a drag all the way across. A drag all the way across is, oh no, my safety's got to come all the way and get him. So I think that's what it is. That's why you see him run. But watch Battle. Hell yeah, right? What a play. There's the Jordan Battle we saw as a rookie and some flashes last year, but there it is. It's a great play. We get a holding call over here. The rare rip move holding call. Let's see. As we go with the rip there, when does it become a penalty? Because I say all the time, if you use a rip move as a pass rusher, you don't automatically get a penalty when you end up in this scenario. But here, right about there, you have beaten him, and your path is now to the quarterback. And this guy's butt is not to the quarterback anymore. And you are now beaten. If you stay in front of the quarterback as the lineman and you still have that grip around his neck, they're not going to call holding after a rip move. Not all the time, sometimes, but definitely not. Most of the time, they're not. But if you can get around him still and the lineman doesn't play with good positioning, well, they're going to throw the flag on that one. Good play by Jordan Battle. Really good play. The responsibility there is difficult, and he really answered. That's an A+ play from him. This is a third and very long, so I don't know what the Bengals wanted to really do here. Like, this ball should just probably be out right now. Let Jamar hopefully do something and be a better athlete than some of these guys. We'll look. This is the third straight sack. Really not much to talk about here because everyone kind of gets collapsed on him. This is not Mim's fault, right about there. He's got a good block on him. He could probably crush this guy and keep him away from Burrow. Like, why are you letting him crab walk and army crawl to him? Meanwhile, everyone on the inside's getting just enough push. Is that Mason Graham? Yeah, it is. Mason Graham right here, 94, is going to hit Karras, going to get inside of Reisner, and there's just too much going on, and Burrow can't get out of there. But again, like, at what point could he have maybe thrown with some anticipation and got it to Jamar? About, let's see if we were trying to be about right there, right? He's settling down. If the ball is coming out, you'd probably get it to him right now. It just coincides with the rush also getting there, Mason Graham getting there. So getting beat up front, getting your butt kicked up front, not having easy answer plays and easy manufactured plays, I should say, on offense leads to you ending up in a situation like this. Like, here are the Browns manufacturing touches. Again, we've got a stacked receiver look. So the one guy's got to back off. DJ Turner is saying, like, okay, you've got outside, I've got outside, you've got inside. But once they get closer, he's like, okay, no. He's even pointing. You saw with the hand out here. I think he wants, is this Newton to be outside, to be inside? Inside. Keep saying outside. But then again, what do the Browns do? And we talked about this earlier, right? They stem both guys outside. So as the Bengals corners, you've got to respect it. I've got to go out there. The problem is I need Geno Stone now to be the robber here and really flow down. We talked about this earlier where the receiver came this way and Stone cracked him, right? When you get to this, Stone sees it now and he's running now. But Turner had to protect the outside. He's in a tough situation. I don't want him to get beat across his face like that. Because if you go back, people may say, like, yeah, but like Turner's got to have better coverage. He does. But at the same time, if I can get it right about here, if Judy stays with it and then runs an out, right? Say it's like that and Judy runs an out. Turner's got to be ready to undercut it. We've got to protect the outside. But because the middle field is open here, because we're not getting that safety down, the Browns are just saying, all right, we'll hit this slant route against man coverage on a stacked look and get an easy look here for the first down. You see him talking to Stone right there. Turner's telling him, like, come on, I need you. Over here, Dax is covering David Njoku on this play. Yeah, Turner, I think, really is looking at Geno Stone on that play. Little aggressive with him. Sometimes you got to iron these things out. And then again, what did we do? I think I already know what play this is then. We motion this guy out here, fanning out. We're stacking and bunching these guys up, which means I got a DB that has to come off. I think that is Cam Taylor-Britt. And he's kind of just sitting and waiting until he knows what it is. And he reaches his hands out. Let's not move our feet. Our eyes are in the backfield. Reach our hands out. What are you going to get? A holding call? What's your best case scenario? Turn those feet, flip the hips, and run with it. That's a great throw and catch. Yeah, Cam's like, that's on me. Yeah, no shit. Sorry, excuse me. I think Hendrickson gets a win here. Yep. Osai also flashing. Thought Osai had a decent game. Some missed tackles, but also he plays hard. And every once in a while, he pulls out such a good pass rush win that you go, ooh, where's that? Where's that more often, Osai? All right, third down. This will be one of the last third downs, pretty much the real last third down for the Browns. And we have a sack. Thought this would be split between BJ Hill and Trey Hendrickson. It is not. Let's go back a little bit, though. Very tight coverage here by everyone. You see how maybe it wasn't so tight. Let's look at this. Look right here. It's got to be Dax, right? Pointing to this guy saying, hey, I think he's pointing to Cam. I think, is that Cam Taylor-Britt? Saying, hey, you've got the inside. You got the inside guy? And he's still pointing. Like, hey, get the inside guy in Njoku. Well, Logan Wilson picks him up. So we're tight over here. Ends up with two guys on Fannin. And Joe Flacco pulls it down. Look elsewhere, though. Look at DJ Turner up here. He's going to ride Jerry Jeudy outside and push him out of bounds. So as Flacco steps up, you're taking another option out there. Everyone sticky everywhere. And the pressure gets home for the sack. This makes it a longer field goal than it was supposed to be. And of course, he misses. Let's look at the line up front and see how the sack happens. BJ Hill, Trey Hendrickson. I thought they'd split it. It just goes to Hill. One of 8 pressures, though, for Trey. Right there. Shamar takes the wide angle. BJ Hill works his guy inside. And they meet at the quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they change that to a half each. All right, Bengals need to run the clock. DJ Turner just got an interception here. And they're unable to really move anything here. Like, there's nobody winning. Everyone's still kind of at the line of scrimmage except for, who is that, Fairchild? They really got to figure out their under center run game. There are times you need to get to it, especially these crunch situations, these bleed the clock situations. You've got to be able to run the ball. And the Bengals don't seem like they can turn to it. Otherwise, I thought some of their run game was really good, especially in the first half. And then there was nothing there in the second half. The Browns figured it out, and this is the last play of the game. Dax Hill looks like your safety number 3 in these scenarios, with DJ Turner, Josh Newton, and Cam Taylor-Britt up at corner. You know, instead of bringing in, it was Dejon Anthony last year that they brought in for that. And remember, he had that famous penalty against the Chiefs. We got a false start here. That's why we're skipping ahead. This time now it's Dax Hill. So Dax played, I think it said 30 snaps in the box, had 2 free safety snaps. So this must have been them here. And then was on the boundary for 16. Was in the slot, I want to say another 26. I posted this on Twitter. And here's the final play here. as it is caught, and clock is going to expire as Dex and Geno Stone make the tackle. Let's look at the pass rush to end it. And we're going to wrap this week 1 preview or review, film review up. Another hit for Trey Hendrickson. Game over. Bengals win somehow. So that was the third downs and the story of the game for the Bengals. Browns, they come away with a victory, which is what is important. A lot of film review stuff is going to be left on the cutting room floor here. There's a lot to talk about. It's a very up and down game. A lot of narratives from offense to defense and how things changed throughout. I mean, first half, I would have said the defense is not playing well enough. They're just getting by. I thought they were much better in the second half. I thought the pass rush woke up in the second half. And then for the opposite on offense, thought they looked good the first 3 drives. And then they could do absolutely nothing for the rest of the game. We'll have to see how they can rebound at home, opening against the Jags this week. If you like this, check out the Jake and Joe Bengals preview show on Fridays, usually Friday morning. We're going to aim for releasing that. And then catch us live on the Jake and Joe post-game show. That happens every Bengals game, post-game. We're going to get up live there, give some things away, talk about the show. First Star is going to give away awesome stuff. I think it's 2 Jamar Chase signed jerseys this week. So check out on Twitter. You'll be able to win one there and win one in the post-game show. So you want to be involved. You want to be there. You got good shot. Like, 1 in 350 or 320, I think it was, for a PlayStation 5 last week on the live show. Those are good odds for a PlayStation. That's what you get when you're hanging out with First Star and Jake and I in the post-game. I really like those shows. But until next time, Bengals on the Brain, 1 show a week. Don't forget. We got the preview show, post-game show. It'll be next Tuesday. We'll be breaking down Jags and Bengals. But you'll see me at a couple episodes and a couple appearances until that happens. All right, I'm out of here. We had a long episode as it is. See you next time. Hoo day.